You probably haven't failed to notice that there's been a bit of an issue recently with fuel, and the issue is mainly that people have been panic buying. Not that anyone would admit to panic buying. Anyone you would talk to in the queue at the petrol station wouldn't say they were panicking. They just need fuel. And really what drives this is this selfishness, I guess, where you want to protect your own interests, that you are more important than anyone else, and therefore you need to make sure you have the fuel that's necessary for whatever it is you have in your diary. But of course the downside of this is those people that really do need fuel can't get any. Now, in the month of October, as Holy Baptist Church, we're looking at how we can live a generous life, which in the light of all this panic buying is really counter-cultural. And we're going to be looking at the teachings of Jesus and how he calls us to live selfless and generous lives, how we can use our money and our time and our talents to help others and to give more than we receive, because that's what Jesus did. He came not to get everything, but ultimately to give everything for the sake of the world. We're told in Luke's Gospel about a guy called John the Baptist, and really he was there to prepare the people of Israel, the nation of Israel, for the coming of the promised Saviour who was told of in their holy book, the Bible as we would know it, the Old Testament. And he baptised people, basically he dunked them in water as a public sign that they wanted to commit to this coming Saviour who we would know as being Jesus. And after they'd come out of the water, they said to John, so what? What do I do now? How do I live my life differently? And John said to the crowd who were listening, well, if you've got plenty of money or plenty of food or plenty of clothes, give to those that haven't. To the tax collectors, he said, look, don't take more than you have to. To the soldiers, he says, don't force people to give you money or do what you want them to do. I was told a story this weekend, and it dates back to panic buying with toilet rolls. And it was about a church leader who was going into the supermarket to get some toilet rolls, managed to get the last 2 packs of 8 toilet rolls. And he was just about to go and pay for them at the till when he noticed this elderly gentleman who had obviously come in for toilet roll because his trolley was piled up with packets of tissues because all the toilet roll was sold out. And this church leader went up to this gentleman and said, do you need toilet rolls? He said, yes, and he gave him one of his packets of 8 toilet rolls. Now, it may be difficult to share your tank of fuel, but there are practical ways in which we can be generous with what we have. And during this month of October, we're going to be looking at practical ways in which we can be generous, we can live generous lives. And we're going to be using the hashtag #LiveGenerous to do that, and for you to maybe share those stories of people who have been generous to you, people who have blessed you through their generosity of their time and their help and their support. And maybe by doing so, you might give others some ideas about how they could be generous too. So this month, we're going to live generous. We're going to live differently to maybe how some people in our society have been living recently. We're going to try and live like Jesus.